What is up, all my beautiful Habesha people out there? I just have a little pet peeve of mine that I would like to share. Something that's bothered me my whole life, I guess, and it's kind of, I don't want to say the ugly side, but it is the ugly side of our Habesha community that I don't really like and I don't really approve of. Growing up, my parents were very strict, and they never wanted us to forget our culture or our values or where we came from, which is a good thing. But in doing that, they kind of shut us off from other cultures and other values and other people, kind of the American way of life. I grew up in Texas, and my parents were very anti, everything that wasn't Habesha. I grew up, in a home, and I pretty much grew up at home because I wasn't really allowed to ever leave. I wasn't allowed to have friends that weren't Habesha, and there weren't many Habesha people in my town, so it was kind of lonely growing up, I'm not gonna lie. But I think my biggest pet peeve that my parents told me was that not to talk to people of a different race or ethnicity, not to date, definitely not to marry, because I would be disowned if I ever did that. And I think that that's really horrible, and that's a mistake, and that's wrong. You're literally cutting yourself off to billions of people in the world just because they don't speak Amharic or Tigrinya, or because their skin color is different. They have different cultures, different values. You're just cutting yourself off to all those people. You're just saying, nope, didn't make the cut. Sorry, you didn't make the checklist. I just think that's, even I was 6 years old when they told me that, and as a 6-year-old, I knew that is wrong. And I think the reason why I get so, kind of frustrated and angry at this, I understand why my parents think like that, because they grew up back home, that's all they know. They just want the best for me, and that's what they think is the best for me. But I have, cousins and relatives that grew up in America that still think like that. They look at me like I'm crazy when I talk to a Mexican or a white guy or a black guy. They look at me like, what? And I'm not crazy. I'm not wrong. I'm opening my horizon. I'm broadening my perspective. Growing up at home, I had a very tunnel vision of what the world is and how people are. And I joined the military about a little over 2 years ago, and my perspective has just completely grown and completely changed. And I'm so grateful. I see people of every shape and every color and every ethnicity, and just, I love it. I love experiencing new cultures and being around new people, and seeing their background and seeing their life story. I've learned a lot about people. I understand a lot more about people and why they do things the way that they do. I'm not bashing on Habesha. I absolutely love my culture. I love Habesha people, but I'm just saying, don't limit yourself just Habesha people. Don't do that to yourself. There's a whole world out there. You need to go and you need to experience it. And I think that people that cut themselves off to people, they're the crazy ones. Like, why? Because your parents told you to do it, that's why you're gonna do it. Your parents aren't gonna wake up to that person every day for the rest of their lives. Your parents aren't gonna be there every day for the rest of your life. This is a decision that you need to make based on you and you alone. I think that people that think like that are very close-minded, and I really wish you would open up your perspective. I'm not saying don't go out the Habesha. If you find someone that's Habesha and you like them, hell yeah, good for you. But if you find someone and you like him and he's not Habesha, don't turn him down just because he's not Habesha, And it might not work out, and it's still going to be a good experience that you learned. It's going to be a different culture that you learned. I think you should just open up your mind and be more willing to experience new things and new people. I know growing up, my parents were not about new things and new cultures, new values. But that's just because that's what they think is best. But it's a new world, and I don't want people to grow up that way. If I had listened to my parents, I think I'd be a very boring, closed-minded person, and I'm very grateful that I knew better. And I just kind of I wish the best for all you people out there, and I hope someone. But yeah, bye, all my beautiful Habesha people.